All right, guys. So I guess I have some slightly good news here for you. We can say that. We can say it's slightly good news. The other day as we were covering the 47 ways in which this country is driving straight off of a cliff, it occurred to me, holy shit, I don't see any fight back. I don't see any pushback. Trump's doing whatever he wants. Elon's doing whatever he wants. These things are wildly illegal. They're insane. And it was just like, mum's the word. Nobody was saying anything. Nobody was doing anything. And it was driving me crazy because in my mind, I'm going, you got to fight. You got to fight on every front. You got to fight legislatively. You got to block all Trump's picks. You got to fight in the courtroom. You got to organize and protest in the street. Like every single avenue we have, we should use, right? Well, guess what? It appeared to make everybody snap into place, right? There was like a day lag, but everybody sort of snapped into action. Soon after, Elon effectively did a coup, where he said, I'm going to illegally hack the U.S. Treasury and delete whatever the fuck I want to delete. That made everybody go, oh. So I think they were initially, for a day, people were in shock, and they didn't know what to do, right? But now we finally get some action. So believe it or not, some Democratic politicians are now out there being very vocal. Let me walk you through it here. Let's start with Jamie Raskin. Here we go. Pay close attention to the language that he uses here, because this is above and beyond what we've heard in the past.
Can you describe your decision to go to USAID today? And actually, can you also describe what happened when you tried to go inside the building today?
Sure. Well, for me, it was easy, Rachel, because not only have I been trying to defend the Constitution and legality in America, as you know, for the last several years, but I have tens of thousands of federal workers who are my constituents in beautiful Montgomery County, Maryland. And what I see are all the telltale signs of a coup. A coup is a seizure of state power by unelected actors who work to take over the critical infrastructure of government outside of the rule of law. And that's what I see as going on right now. I mean, Elon Musk has basically tried to take control of the country's communications infrastructure, the governmental financial payments infrastructure, the data infrastructure, and he's got important parts of nodes of the military infrastructure. So I'm looking right through Donald Trump, who no doubt wants to abuse everybody's civil rights and civil liberties and centralize all the power in him. But at this point, I'm with Steve Bannon and Laura Loomer and the people on the right who are saying, watch Elon Musk, because he's the guy who's trying to centralize all power behind him, and he hasn't been elected to anything.
By the way, you watch. They will all fall in line. Notice that Sloppy Steve was going after Elon over the H-1B visa fight, right? The high-skilled immigrants who come in this country, usually Indian immigrants who Elon Musk exploits personally. He was fighting Elon on that. Trump comes out and goes, I agree with Elon 100%. Let's do that. And what does Sloppy Steve do? He keeps fighting Elon and not Trump. So wait, your boy just stabbed you in the back and you're not saying anything against your boy. You're still focusing just on Elon. It's going to be the same thing here, right? Even if he has something to say negative about this, it's not going to be, I'm now against the Trump administration and I think he should be impeached and arrested. No. So it's going to be tepid. It's going to be fucking tepid. But you heard the words. He said, this is what a coup looks like. Because it is. That is what a coup looks like. If you take this exact same set of facts and put it in any country that the U.S. doesn't like, it's happening in Iran, it's happening in China, whatever, fill in the blank, even if it's a U.S. ally, the world's richest robber baron, who's on track to become a trillionaire, illegally hacks into the treasury and starts deleting payments, freezing payments they don't like, right? What is that? What is that? Then there is no more rule of law. There is no more power of the purse with the Congress. Everything's on the table. Because there are no rules. Nobody's going to arrest them. Nobody's going to stop them, right? That's what this is. That's what this is. So they finally woken up. Okay, now there are plenty of examples of Democrats who are not doing great. Jerry Connolly, 74 years old, has esophageal cancer, least charismatic man on the planet, right? He just shouldn't be the head of the Oversight Committee, period. It should be AOC. It should not be him, period. Chuck Schumer, hilariously pathetic. People are aroused. They're so aroused. They're so erect. Their penises. Like, he's out, and I'm watching him like, bro, it's you got to wrap it up, homie. You got to go. You got to go. You're just not, you're not cut out for this moment. It's that simple. On CNBC, they were saying they invited a bunch of Democratic senators to come to talk about Elon, right? I believe this was the first day that he hacked into the Treasury illegally. All of them said no. Whoever they invited, not a single Democratic senator said, yeah, I'll come talk about this and attack Elon. Which, again, to me, I'm like, what the... Are you guys going to lay in a chalk outline of yourself on the ground? Like, you just waiting to get murdered? You want to see this country torched? You want to see zero democracy moving forward? Now, again, thankfully, that was the first day. The second day, boom, a bunch of them snapped into fight mode. So here we go. Now let's go to, okay, Crystal and I were talking about this the other day. This dude's name, I did not know this until Crystal told me, it's pronounced Brian Schatz. And I have to say, Brian, good move, sir, because I always thought your name was Brian Schatz, and that is a very, very unfortunate name. That's like saying, my name is Dave Diarrhea. Like, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Jeff Farts. Like, just poor roll of the dice here, bro. In fact, I would maybe change my name. So Brian Schatz, he comes out here, and he actually lays it down. Here we go.
If you don't like an agency, if you don't like a spending provision, propose a bill, pass a law. That is so foundational to the American system of government that I don't want to race past this idea that you can wave away a federal law because you don't like it. And so it is both an outrage and an illegal act, but it also gives us some confidence, and the public should have some confidence. The law here is absolutely on the side of the American people being in control of taxpayer funds through the Congress. Through the Congress. And so they are depending on some sort of sense of swagger and inevitability to storm into buildings and take over the servers and to run the databases and to relieve people of their duties. Like this is some hostile takeover of a tech company. This is your government. And you can hate parts of it and love parts of it and be neutral about other parts of it, but it's still your government. If anyone in the Trump administration wants to modify the spending law that was enacted, you gotta come back to Congress and modify the law that was enacted. This is not some minor transgression. This is an illegal act. They stormed into buildings. They shut down agencies illegally. And sure, first it was USAID. But they are now systematically going into the Small Business Administration, the Department of the Treasury, and they will not stop until they believe they have total control over spending. And that's not the way the American system of government is supposed to work.
This is the test case, y'all. Somebody made this point the other day. This is the test case. You go in there, you start with something more small, right? You start with USAID. They make arguments against you. Hey, we got to get rid of fraud, waste, abuse, whatever. Again, this is not the way it works. If you're against it, debate it in Congress, pull it out, pass it, then it can go away, right? But they start with something, USAID, oh, look, all the bad things they did. Oh, never mind, they ignore the fact of all the, like, the HIV drugs that were given to kids, where it's medicine that saves lives genuinely and sincerely, right? They don't bring that part up. But start with this, then what do? Well, we just got word. They just hacked into the Department of Labor. They just hacked in there. And they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And so eventually, you think they won't work their way? They froze Medicaid the other day. It lasted for a day or two. Then, thankfully, there was a stay on that, and they did back away from the edge, because that would have been fucking chaos. If you literally, healthcare for 72 million Americans just casually freeze, that's insane, right? But eventually, you think they won't get around to cutting Medicaid? You think they won't get around to cutting Medicare? You think they won't get around to cutting Social Security? Elon Musk idolizes Javier Milei, the anarcho-capitalist in Argentina who's delivered a 53% poverty rate for that country. This is who he believes in. This is his ideology. It's rugged, individualistic capitalism for you. Shut the fuck up and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. No social safety net. No help from the government. No help from anybody. But at the same time, I'm going to steal all the money and loot the treasury. I got my government contracts. I got my corporate welfare. I got my subsidies. I got tens of billions of dollars from the government. For me, it's okay. For me, it's great. We love it. We love socialism for me. But for you, fuck off. 53% poverty rate, bitch. That's what we're working towards. Elizabeth Warren comes out. Here's what she says.
I just want to be clear about what's going on here. The system that makes sure that your granddad gets his Social Security check, the system that makes sure that your mom's doctor gets Medicare payment to cover her medical appointment, and the system that makes sure that you get the tax refund that you're owed has been taken over by Elon Musk. And every organization from your state government that uses federal money on that bridge project to the local Head Start that takes care of little kids while their mommies and daddies go to work is now at the mercy of Elon Musk. Elon just grabbed the controls of our whole payment system, demanding the power to turn it on for his friends or turn it off for anyone he doesn't like. Now, there's a second problem here. It's not just payments from the federal government that are now in Elon's control. Elon and his handful of friends now have full access to your personal and financial information that's in the system. Your payment history, your Social Security number, your bank account numbers. Elon now has the power to suck out all of that information for his own use. And there is a third problem. In order for this handful of programmers to gain access to our $6 trillion payment system, we don't know what safeguards were pulled down. Are the gates wide open now for hackers from China, from North Korea, from Iran, from Russia? Heck, who knows what black hat hackers all around the world are finding out about each one of us and copying that information for their own criminal uses.
Yeah, your bank account information is not even safe anymore. Right? Like, it's not safe. They're putting on a fucking private server. Like, what are we talking about here?
Donald Trump and his billionaire buddies are determined to take over this government to make it work better for themselves and worse for everyone else. And this is just the start. As we gear up for the tax fight, it will become even clearer that Trump will open the doors for his billionaires and giant corporations to find more ways to loot the government at your expense. Meanwhile, everyone else pays more for groceries, more for housing, more for prescription drugs, and more for health care. When unelected billionaires start ransacking our government offices, this is not business as usual. Nope, nothing is normal. We are living a nightmare created by Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and we need to wake up. We need to use every tool we have to fight back.
Look, I mean this sincerely. I really hope the Democrats are smart enough right now to be making alliances which might be necessary for the future. And what I mean by that is you got to get the National Guard on your side. You got to get police departments on your side. You got to try to peel away some generals from the Trump administration, because the fact of the matter is, what is stopping these guys? What's stopping Elon and what's stopping Trump from... The courts are going to say, and this isn't a maybe they'll say this, they are definitely going to say, Elon's got to stop. They got to stop. We're putting a stay on him going through private government information, hacking the U.S. Treasury, hacking the GSA, hacking the Labor Department. They're going to say, you have to stop doing that, right? And maybe even put a restraining order on it. What's to stop them from saying, from Trump to come out and say, no, I disagree. I want to keep going. I'm the president. My word stands. That's beyond a constitutional crisis. That is literally just a fascist coup. That's what that is. Where it's like, hey, you can't do this. This is in brazen, flagrant contravention of the law. And they go, agree to disagree. What do you do then? What do you do then? If you are not making alliances with muscle right now, and all the muscle is on the side of Trump and Elon, then they literally get to do whatever they want. The law is whatever the fuck they say it is at that point. I mean, these are literally the conversations we have to start having. Absolutely. They should be planning behind the scenes for the inevitable crash out. This is going to come to a fucking head. Are we really going to sit back and rely on the richest man in the world and the most narcissistic man in the world, the president, the most powerful man on the planet? They're going to go, some fucking DC judge says Elon can't do this, so I guess we'll stop. Are we going to fucking rely on that? Oh my God. I'm not done. So here's Ayan Presley. Again, a fire was really lit underneath a bunch of Democrats. Everybody was in shock for a day, but then they sort of kicked into gear, right? Here's Ayan Presley. She's going to talk. She's going to go after Elon here. This is the energy we need moving forward. Bro, we're done. Somebody said on Twitter that the Democrats need to do the Republicans like Kendrick did Drake. And that stuck with me, right? Because it was like, hey, not a fucking ounce of mercy. Nah, we're done, bro. We're done. Oh, hey, I'll be reasonable. I'll hold your hand. We'll work together. We can work together. Fuck that. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on, and fuck your mother, okay? We're done here. This is the energy we need. Ready? Here we go. Sorry, the audio's a little off on this, but it's still good.
We'll see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi NEPO baby. A godless, lawless billionaire who no one elected. Elon, this is the American people. This is not your trashy Cybertruck that you can just dismantle, pick apart, and sell the pieces of.
She's right. She's 100% right. She's right. How many crimes does he have to commit before there's any fucking accountability and any justice whatsoever? How many crimes? Are we just going to let him fucking go A to Z down all the crimes? Go, you commit all the crimes and say, hey, you're the world's richest man. You spend $277 million electing Donald Trump, buying the Republican Party. Therefore, you get to run wild Is that what we're going to do? Or are we going to fucking stand up and fight for our country continuing to be a country? Awesome stuff. Nazi Nepo baby is correct. And anybody still debating at this point whether or not he's at least a fascist, but really specifically a Nazi, not interested in your opinion in the slightest. Not in the fucking slightest. He had to do 2 Nazi salutes on inauguration day. He's autistic. Bitch, what? That's your reaction? It was a Roman salute. He gets excited. Like, what? That's your reaction. And then you see on Twitter, right? And this was a long time ago. People just fucking memory hold this one. There's some anti-Semitic Nazi-ass account that was like, the Jews hate white people and they're trying to destroy them and this is why. And then they explain it, right? Elon says in response, you have said the actual truth. What are we debating? He was just tweeting the other day about we should allow white South African refugees to come to the U.S., but only the white ones. Elon Musk's dad has said, Elon's grandfather, they were Nazis. They moved to South Africa because they loved and believed in apartheid. What are we debating? What are we discussing? Oh, he's friends with Netanyahu, so he's not a Nazi. That's like saying homies loves Hitler, so he can't be a Nazi. Like, what are we talking about? You can both be a Zionist and a Nazi. He is. There are many white supremacist Nazis who are jealous of Israel because they have an ethno-state. They want an ethno-state. There's also some Nazis who are anti-Zionist, and they have on the top of their racial hierarchy hate list the Jews. But then there's others who formed an alliance because they are jealous of the ethno-state. They want to use that as an example for us moving forward, having our own ethno-state, right? This is not debatable anymore. He is a Nazi Nepo baby. Let's call it what it is. He is that. And he is a lawless billionaire. He is a robber baron. He is on track to become the world's first trillionaire. And we're just sitting here with our fucking thumbs up our asses, letting him go through people's social security numbers and bank accounts illegally, setting up a private server. What are we talking about here? All right, I got one more for you. This is Maxwell Frost. Shout out to Maxwell Frost, man. I don't know, man. You guys tell me, but my first instinct when I watched this, if I'm being honest, was to say, I think he watches the show. I think he listens to this show because he absolutely nails the exact theme and talking points that we need moving forward. This is it. What you're about to hear here, this is the message. You say this from now until the next election, if there is one, and you use that to ride into power with a massive wave, because this is the line that lands 100%. And you'll see, this is why I think you listen to the show. It's literally like word for word what I've told you guys 100 times is the plan moving forward, is the argument moving forward, is how you run a campaign. Listen to this.
They want us to believe that the reason we can't pay for our health insurance, the reason we can't cover rent, the reason kids are dying on the streets due to gun violence, the reason there's so much wealth inequality and that so many people live paycheck to paycheck is because of the immigrant, or because of the trans person, or because of your neighbor. They lied. It's because of corrupt billionaires like Elon Musk and corporations, not our fellow working people.
That's exactly it. The MAGA worldview is, I know your life sucks. I know you're getting screwed, but the reason for that, it's immigrants and it's trans people. Focus all your anger at them. It's the old divide and conquer trick, right? And he says, they're not the problem. They're on your team. They're in your boat. The real problem are the corrupt billionaire robber barons. And by the way, we have to all start calling them robber barons, right? Billionaire is like a value neutral term. Some people hear billionaire and they think, oh, a hard worker who really got ahead, right? That's what some people think. But robber baron is not subtle, and it's not up in the air as to the connotation that has. It has a negative connotation, right? And they are that. We're in a new Gilded Age, and these are robber barons. It implies, hey, they shouldn't have all this wealth. They got this through exploitation. And that's right. That's what they are. But he nails it exactly right. This is it. That's the message. Don't stop. If Americans are going to wake up, they are waking up right now. They are waking up right now as we speak. Even normies. I'm getting texts from normies in my life going, you know, it doesn't look good. Yeah, you don't say. You don't say. We got to take that energy and run with it and don't stop. We cannot let this country fall to the fascists. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.